Hey guys, so I am excited to tell you about the new version of my Chiptunes player, version 1.6 for Nitrous 9. There are some major changes and upgrades in this version. It's been a long time coming. It's been several months, I think, total that I've been working on this. So let me try to break down the changes. One thing is some VGM files contain embedded loops. So like especially for intros. Some songs, like, they only want the first 10 seconds to play once, and then the main looping section of the song starts from that 10-second, you know, point and continues. Before, my player didn't recognize those. Now it does. And in addition, I added a flag to allow you to customize how many iterations of those loops you want to do. You can set it to 0 if you don't want it to ever loop. You can go up to 9 loops, or F to just have it loop indefinitely. The default is 1, as you can see there. Um, Probably the biggest change is I now support 2 additional hardware devices, the CocoPSG and the Game Master cartridge. Um, so just a disclaimer that all of my testing has been done via emulation. As you can see, I'm using MAME right now to record this. So there may be glitches on actual hardware. So if you run into any of those, just let me know, and I might be able to troubleshoot it. At some point, I definitely hope to get my hands on some of the actual hardware accessories to try it for myself. But so once I started supporting more than one device, I quickly realized I would need a way to let the user specify what slot the device is plugged into, because there's really no way to guarantee it. So I added some flags for that as well. But while I was doing that, I also realized the potential that that would open up. So you can actually theoretically have a Game Master cartridge and a CocoPSG connected at the same time. In fact, you could have them connected to a Mega Mini MPI, which has the OPL chip, and all in one be able to have everything connected simultaneously. And you can even make playlists to mix and match the different formats. So you could have one song that plays through the Game Master cartridge, and then the next song is an OPL song, and then the third song is a CocoPSG song. And it will just automatically route to the appropriate slot. So it's pretty cool. More on playlists in a second. So I told you about the VGM loops and new hardware supported. Um, I also added just an information screen here to kind of explain, because it is a bit confusing. Um, so you just use -I. You can kind of read that on your screen there. So some VGM files are encoded where they assume the player has a specific clock frequency, and some CoCo accessories like the PSG may not be exactly that, or same thing with the Game Master cartridge. And as a result, when you play it back, it may not be pitch perfect. So I kind of put that note on the bottom of the screen so people are aware, just in case they're playing it back like on a modern computer in some kind of player, and it doesn't sound perfect. But it's pretty close. But because it's kind of confusing, I actually and I'll show you when I do a demonstration. But when you're playing back a VGM file, it will tell you what the encoded clock frequency is for that song, as well as what the closest frequency it's going to use on the CoCo hardware, because the PSG allows you to configure a 1 megahertz or 2 megahertz rate, whereas the Game Master cartridge is just fixed at 4 megahertz. There's no way to change that. So yeah, so you can kind of read a number of the changes here. Um, uh, Another major change is playlists. Before, the way I did playlists was they were just text files with path names to the different songs, all kind of separated by a carriage return, um, and you would have to use a flag in the program to let it know that the file you're putting is actually a playlist and not an actual song file. But I decided to spend some extra time and actually implement the M3U playlist format, which is a very common one out there. And as a result, they're automatically detected, so you don't need a flag to use them, and it doesn't care about what the file extension is either. So you can call it a PLS or M3U, whatever you want. It's just going to look for that signature and use that. So I think that's just more intuitive and user friendly. But yeah, so all right, let me show you this in action. So I'll jump over into my directory here, and so I made a mix of 3 songs that each use the different devices. Now I can't mix in OPL stuff in an emulator because MAME doesn't emulate OPL in the Mega Mini MPI, but so it'll have to be this. I showed you the flags, right? So the way that I launched MAME for this demonstration, I did specify the default slot numbers, so I don't actually have to use these because it's slot 1 and slot 2 already. But if you wanted to, let's say your PSG was actually in slot 3, you would use the flag GMC and then slot 3, and then you can also specify. Oh, whoops! I'm sorry, I meant to do that. But yeah, you could do that. But if you leave out the flag, it'll just use the default. But for this demonstration, I'm just going to do the defaults and check it out. So one thing you'll notice is that I now display the chip type that the VGM file is made for, and as well as which device the player is going to route that to, as well as what slot that you specified it should go to. So basically, you'll always know what it's doing. It also tells you what the encoded VGM clock frequency is in the file. So plenty of information there, and yeah, I mean, I'm pretty proud of it. It's taken a while. Towards the end, I was mostly done, but I ran into a bug where the OPL chip, when you would abort playback, sometimes some of the instruments would still be making sound. So and I didn't kind of have time to troubleshoot it, but I finally got around to it. That's fixed, and I think it's ready for release. So you'll be able to download it and try it out. I hope you will. Hope you think it's cool. And if you find any issues, please let me know. And just let me know what you think in general. So have fun.